Good afternoon or evening. This is Mary Bunting joining you one last time to update you on the nor'easter that was expected to really impact Hampton and our region. Great news, in case you haven't heard it yet, the National Weather Service significantly decreased the tidal flooding expected for Hampton. You may recall yesterday when I spoke to you, they were projecting 6.97 feet. Earlier today, it had come down to about 6.5 feet, which was still in the major flooding category. Over the last hour and a half, that has dropped down to about 5.2. So we're more than a foot and a half lower in our projections than we were expecting yesterday. And that's great news because as that tide comes down to those kinds of levels, we're in the minor flooding category, meaning we should not have major impacts to our community. In fact, as we approach 4 o'clock, the expected high tide impact, we have only 2 roads in the city that are currently closed due to water. And after 4 o'clock, we should start to see waters recede. Now, we're going to have some tide cycles, of course, continue, but each of those is going to be below this 5.2 that we're seeing now. In fact, we're so confident with the way things are looking that we are going to go ahead and close our public shelter today at 5 o'clock. You might be wondering, how did we go from such a concern to not much of a concern all in the space of 24 hours? Well, the winds were good to us. We had started out with the concern that the winds were going to be really focused on a northeast sort of trajectory, which would have been pushing water more into the community, but they ended up making a turn today and they have been heading more northwest. So that has been the saving grace for us. I want to really take a moment to thank all of you that took a chance to really revisit your emergency management plans, to evaluate your own personal evacuation comfort level, and especially to thank the many city employees who have been preparing for this storm, both on the front lines and behind the scenes. We have a terrific team here in Hampton. I'm always confident that we are in good hands. We practice to make sure that we can execute with excellence when we have such events. And having been around and seeing what my team has been doing today, I can tell you they once again exceeded all expectations. So glad to say that the worst fears will not come to reality. We're going to be ramping down operations now. But please understand that we still are in hurricane season and we may have to come back to you later this month. Hopefully we won't, but please continue to update your personal emergency supplies and evacuation plans so that if something else does happen later this month, you are prepared. Thanks again for tuning in and stay safe.